Good afternoon, Internet. Editor-in-Chief Dan Webb here. We're about to give you a look at Dragon Age Inquisition's secret temple, the Solasan temple that can be found in the Forbidden Oasis. So basically, to get into this temple, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but the whole idea is that it's meant to be worth it. So throughout Thades, both Ferelden and Orlais, you will find these ocularums, which are basically, you'll see them as skulls on the map. Basically, you go up, they are like telescopes. You look through the telescopes and you uncover shards. So as you can see here, I'm just scanning the land and you'll see a little glint, and then you scan them and then it adds them to the map. So what you then do after that is you chase them all down, and once you have 108 of them, I think there are 109 in all, but you don't need to get them all. So basically you just pick them up. Once you've done that, you will then need to go to the Forbidden Oasis and locate Solasan. So basically just get at the map, and then if you go to the map in the middle, which is actually called the Oasis Camp, and fast travel there, you are now here in the Forbidden Oasis. Obviously it doesn't load as quick as that, that's the marvel of video editing, but you'll find yourself in the middle in the intrinsic pool. You got this beautiful waterfall, nice blue sky, marvellous. So if you head to the left of the waterfall, you'll see a little cave entrance, like a little mine entrance. And if you make your way in that, past the little, I think it's like a hippo or something, or one of their crazy names. And then you follow all the way through to the top, and then at the top you go left, and you're on the upper walkway, and then just basically jump, make your way down, and you will be at Solasan. So this is Solasan here, this crazy little temple. To first get in, you need 6 shards for the first time. And then every door in there then needs more shards. So as you can hear, I've unlocked 6 of the 10, I do believe, doors. Basically, we're going to give you a look at each of the doors and what's inside them, and how it's going to benefit your playthrough if you actually go for these. If you're on normal, I wouldn't advise it. It's a lot of effort. As you can see there on the right, there's the fire door, the cold door, and on the left, the spirit door. So basically, you'll use your shards to get into the first thing. You'll kill a load of demons here. You'll open your chest. You'll use more shards to get into the next room. Kill more demons here, as you can see. And then you'll use your shards to get into the next one. Each area has 3 doors. First door takes 6 shards. Next door 12 shards. The last door 18 shards. And obviously, the further you go in, the better the rewards. As you can see here, I've already opened that one, so we're going to move, well, through the fire mine, as you do, and we're going to put the shards into the door, and as I click, you can see all the shards going in there, all 18 of them, and then the door opens, and the last door, that's where the big rewards are. Each chest that you open gives you a certain resistance, so if you're on Nightmare or playing it on hard, this could come really handy indeed. I'm actually a really high level when I get here as well, so this looks actually fairly easy, but I get the feeling that this is meant to be quite a tricky fight. So you've got the arcane horrors, you've got a lot of archers, and as we all know, in Dragon Age, the archers are a pain in the ass, especially if you're a mage, because your range defense isn't amazing. So if you take them down really quickly, and then you go and open the chest, there's loads of other stuff in here as well. Make sure you kill them all, because this one's got 2 in. Arcane Horror and a Revenant, I think they're called. So basically you open up, and when you open it up you get all these cool little things, spirit essence that you can craft stuff with, some good belts that protect you against spirit enemies, and as you can see you get a character buff. So obviously each time you come in here, the first door you get a character buff, the second door you get a character buff, and there are other stuff in here, as you can see, like staffs and stuff like that. So here you go, we're going into the cold one now. And obviously the enemies reflect what's in the room, so if you're in a cold room you'll be best to use fire spells, or if you're not a mage then obviously whatever attacks you have, and getting close is key as always. So as you can see, we're going to be using fire spells in here, and as I was saying a minute ago before I was rudely interrupted by myself, you'll see that the chest in the middle, each one gives you a buff. This is the second door buff. So we've still got another one to go through. So what we're going to do, as always, we pick up the loot, because that's how we roll. And then we open it up and we get cool weapons again. The further you go, the better they are. So these are rare, and obviously you get your buffs. and in the next stage you get unique. So you get, I think you get 4 for the first door, you get 6 for the second door, and then you get 8 for the third door in terms of resistance buffs. If you're actually going after the dragons, they can come in. They're actually really neat and handy to have, because obviously each dragon has a kind of element that he's aligned with, whether it's fire, whether it's ice, electricity, whether it's spirit. So, and each one has a resistance as well. So obviously if you're fighting the dragon, stick with the resistance. But if you've got these buffs, especially on the later difficulties, it's going to help you out. This is me on normal. I didn't really need to do this. I just wanted to show you what's behind the doors, and more importantly what's at the heart of the temple. It's not as amazing as it could do, but it's really bloody handy, and there are actually some really neat weapons in there. So we're dealing with these arcane horror right now, or is he a revenant? I don't know. They both look very similar in this small screen that I'm looking at. And I'm busting out my level 22 magic skills as well, and slowly, one by one, taking them out. And yeah, we're going to go straight to the thing. We're going to have a look. So this is another high-end one. So you get the superb belt of resistance, of cold resistance. So if you're going into fight somebody who you know is a cold demon or uses cold spells, then obviously equipping that is then really going to help you out. Last, well not last, but penultimate, we have the fire door. Guess what? There's fire. Yeah, so basically the enemies in here are fire enemies. So instead of seeing a cold demon like your arcane horror, what we've actually got in here is an actual demon. A fade demon. And as we know that they are vulnerable to cold, obviously they're orange. That's a bit of a giveaway. So basically I'm using a fire thing because I've got a fire staff and that's all I've got on me. And as we know in Dragon Age, you can't change mid-battle, which is completely ridiculous. I don't know why they did that, especially if you're coming... It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight and then realising you've got a gun, but in the middle of the fight you can't change. So this is what my issue is at the moment. It doesn't make much of a difference because I've got other magic spells and I've got my partners in crime with me. So once we've taken them out, we're going to go and open the final of the 3 doors. Basically to get into the last temple. As you can see, it says a prideful place. And there's lots of gold in these places as well. But yeah, to get into the last one, you need to open all of the doors and light up all of the things before you move in. You don't have to open the chests, but it is a wise idea to open the chest because, as we all know, there's good stuff in the chests. And again, this is the same as the other ones. You get your character buffs, you get some good master rune, you get a superb belt of varying resistance, so depending on which room you're in, and there's your buffs. Finally, we are going to move on to the last one. And in the last one, if you probably would have guessed, it's electricity. So as you can see now, the door is open because I've opened up all the other doors, and we move in, and there is an ogre in there. Of course, you've got to take out the enemies before you get to the prize at the end of the road. But to be fair, that is like everything else in life. And the achievement, the Keymaster Achievement, worth 15 points. A bronze trophy has just unlocked. It's a lot of effort for a very small reward, but you do get gameplay rewards out of it. So in that respect, it's pretty cool. So I'm just using my rift magic to rip the ogre in 2 effectively, and then picking off the other ones on the outside before we finally get to the last chest. And then in the last chest, if you probably hadn't have guessed by now, there's electricity resistant stuff. So if you manage to do all the doors and get into the heart of the temple, you can actually become a lot stronger and endure a lot more pain. So there's a nice little thing to read here. Not really makes much difference. I'll let you read that while I just make music. Yeah, and obviously at the top, if we move up and we jump up, we have a look around because it's nice and pretty. And then finally, we look inside. So inside you get this actually really cool dagger, which is 329 damage per second. And then you've got you got your Vitar that's more damage as well, and your electric resistance thing as well. Obviously, you can use your crafting materials to make more things. And last but not least, you get loads of electrical resistance. 16, in fact. So yeah, that is what is in the heart of the Solasan Temple. Thanks for joining, and please do subscribe.